Hi, Mark here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to part 2 of my series on making doll slopers. This is the video on how to make a skirt sloper. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. So just like for the bodice sloper, you're going to start with some fabric or some paper. I just have a rectangle and you want it to go past the natural waist of the doll. So the natural waist is the most narrow point on the doll. And then I don't want to tape directly to her body, or try not to. You kind of have to for the torso, for the bodice sloper, but this is a little bit less finicky. So yeah, you just are going to start with the same method of taping this around. And I took the paper up higher than I'm going to need it for the pattern, but that's a lot easier to deal with than if you don't bring it high enough. Yeah, so there you go. And it's the same technique where you just want to get it to fit around the doll as closely as possible. So you're just crinkling the fabric and scrunching it, getting it around the waist and the butt, because that's like the two places that you'll have to shape it the most. So you want to make sure it's conforming around the curves. And whenever I do the sides, you know, you do want to kind of bring those in a little bit too. I try not to peg the skirt, meaning I don't want it to taper in as it goes down. That's kind of hard to do unless you put a spacer in between the legs. So it's not imperative. But that is something you can fix on the pattern once you trace it out. Because ideally you want your skirt sloper to just go straight down from the hip and not taper in. But the point of slopers is to make the most neutral garment that you can. And then from that is where you get all the variation. So you don't want a lot of variation in the slopers, because the point of them is to have them be as basic as possible, because then you go in and do the changes that you want. I take it a little bit below the knee, because again, you can always go back and lengthen the pattern once you have it done. But a basic skirt sloper is going to be just kind of right below the knee. You don't need to go any further than that. So I think we're pretty good. This is less complicated than I just want to do this here. Some people get weird about doll nudity, so that's why I covered her at the top. So, but she is plastic. She's not a real person. Now we draw our lines. And you're gonna want the waist to be at the natural waist. On this doll in particular, I think I mentioned in the last video, I like to set her waist a little bit lower, because I think she has a tendency to look short-waisted if you do it right at her waist. Oh, there we go. So those are things that you can take into account. When I was a sample maker for Integrity Toys, for instance, I worked on a lot of the patterns for the Poppy Parker dolls, and her waist would always be adjusted from where it actually was on the doll body. We'd actually raise it because her torso is kind of long. So you just, oh, hi, her hand. So, you know, take into account proportion when you are looking at whatever doll you are doing. And, you know, you might want to play with those proportions a little bit and not have it be exactly what the doll's telling you it needs to be. It's the same thing when you fit clothes on people too. It's an optical illusion, right? If you want them to look more narrow at the waist or whatever, if they have a short torso, you can lengthen it and drop the waist on things. So, so that's just a little tip for you too, as you are doing this for different doll bodies, because every doll body has its own quirks. Okay, and then I'm going to do the lower hem. And then we want to do, you saw I drew the center front seam again. I tend to talk while I'm drawing the center front, and then I don't tell you what I'm doing. but you want to have your center front and your center back seams. Those are always like your touchstones in patterns. And then you're going to draw, it's kind of right. Okay, so that's like in the middle of her butt cheek, right? And again, you don't want this, because this is going to be a dart in the skirt back. You don't want it to be too far to the front because we're going to be putting a side seam in here. Actually, we'll just draw that in real quick. So again, you can kind of, well, you can't really see them because they're covered up, but I kind of go off the side seam of the torso, which should line up with the side seam of the legs on the doll. And you may have to adjust this because ideally you want this side seam to match up to the side seam on your bodice sloper. So you may need to tweak that a little bit when you go to put those two together. It makes it easier to do the torso sloper, which we will be doing eventually. Okay, so I did the side seam and back to the dart. So it's kind of in the middle. You kind of want to aim it right for the fullest part of the butt is where you want the point of that dart to be, where it ends, right? And then you just go straight up from there. We have our center back, we have our things. Let me see, did I get that? I don't think her. Again, I can, you know, kind of fix some of these things after I do it in fabric, but if I can get it more accurate here, that's less to do and less adjustments to make on the fabric. So there we go. I just wanted to raise that back up a little bit because you want your waist to be straight across. You don't want it to droop in the back. You don't want it to droop in the front. You don't want it to go up in the front. You don't want it to go up in the back, straight across. So that's the goal when you're looking at it. Sometimes, you know, you don't know what you're looking for. When I first started working in costumes and design and I would do fittings, I'd be like, I don't know what I'm looking for that's wrong. I don't know what I'm looking for that needs to be fixed. So working with people who do know those things, they could be, oh, you know, yeah, the garment fits on the person. They can get it on, they can move in it, but fit is beyond that. You know, then you want to get into things about balanced seams and you know, and the lines and the proportions of it. So that's what all that has to do with. Then you would I like to mark the hip. On people, you normally do a dart on the front of the skirt too. On most dolls, you don't really need that. They tend to be very flat in the front. So I'm going to mark that. I don't think we're going to need that dart, but I'm marking it just in case. And then this is your hip. That's just good to mark when you're doing things with the pattern, and so you know where your hip is. Actually, no, that's the fullest part of her buttock, but the fullest part of the hip is actually right there. That's better. Yeah. So do you see that? Like, that's what I'm marking. I'm marking that fullest part of the hip, even though the fullest part of the butt is higher than that. But I want to know where the hip is, because that is where, if you want a skirt to fit around the hips and then flare, you need to know where that point is. Okay, now we're going to cut it off again. I'm going to go up the center back. And again, since we're only doing one side, I can not worry about what's happening on this side and cut that out. And this is just a lot easier than if you use the other methods I've seen with tape and saran wrap and that kind of thing. Those are a lot harder to get off your doll, and you can damage your doll a lot easier, scratch it and stuff with scissors or razor blades or whatever. So that's why I like to do it this way. And then I'm just going to cut it apart again. Okay. Cut up your center front, cut your waist seam, and then I want to cut my back dart. See how that spreads as soon as you release that tension in there, and then cut my center back, and then cut down my side seam. And I'm going to slice this and see if that... It doesn't really spread at all, so I'm not going to do a dart in the front. Okay, So we have our pieces now. Now we're going to trace them out in paper. And you can see on this piece where I didn't get it straight down from the hip, but that's a good reason to mark the hip because we're going to take that line straight down there. We don't want it to angle in. Just going to trace it as is at the moment. And I like to make sure that my center back is straight. I will line that up and get the hem to go straight across as well. So that's a right angle. Then I'm going to take and line that up with the hem, and then I'm going to go up to the hip mark there and draw a line straight down. These are handy. If you don't have them, I recommend them. You're just kind of matching up the angles. If you remember mechanical drawing in shop class, for those of you who may have had that, that's when I was introduced to French curves. And here, your waist is not straight across, right? There is a slight curve to that seam, to that line. You're going to do this with the front, and then you're going to add your 1/4 inch seam allowances onto these. I do, again, 1/4 inch for a 16-inch doll, and I do 1/8 of an inch for, or no, I do 3/16 of an inch for a 12-inch doll. And I want, you can see it better here, how the skirt front waist has the curve to it. And I'm just going to adjust that a little bit because it should be lower in the front than it is. It shouldn't scoop up like that. It should, the lowest part should be at the center front. So, and then the other reason that you're marking the hip is that gives you like a touchstone to match up your skirt back to skirt front pieces when you're sewing them together. I cannot recommend highly enough getting an invisible ruler. They do have these at Michael's. They have a whole section of sort of quilting cutting supplies at Michael's. I looked the last time I was in there. So this is a quilting ruler. Get one of these. They're really helpful for when you're doing this kind of stuff because, you know, I wanted the straight center front, and then I want it straight across there, the right angle, and then I want this to come straight down so I can use these lines to match all that up. And once you start using it, you'll see how handy it is. Now I'm going to mark my seam allowances on my skirt front piece. And then after I do that, I will fold that down the center front line, just like I did with the bodice sloper front. And then when I cut this out, I'll have one piece instead of having to cut this on the fold on the fabric. When I cut the skirt back waist, what I like to do is fold the dart in before I cut that, because then I get a truer, because that's a little off. I do that, and then I get my right notch there. So that's how I like to do it. So we'll cut these out of fabric, and then we'll stitch them together and try them on the doll. I attached my skirt to my bodice. You can see that's the basic garment that you want, but I have some issues. So it's a little tight right through here. That means I need to loosen it up a little bit right around here. Okay. So I need to increase that curve a bit from, looks like about here. There we go. To about here. I need to give myself just a little bit more room in there. So I'm going to expand that. So I want to show you what I did here. So you saw where I marked. This is on the inside now. I marked on the outside where that was the area where it was pulling a little bit. Then I marked it on the inside. And then, since I wanted to give myself a little more room there, because you can see where it was pulling was below the dart. So adjusting the dart wasn't going to do anything to fix that. But I just tapered a line. The one that's close, that's inward, is the old sewing line. This is the new sewing line, where I just bumped it out a little bit there. and then tapered it back into my line. Then I'll go back and I'll cut these old stitches out, then try it on again. Now I can pin that and it's the same. It's not pulling anymore. So that fixed that. When you're fixing problems, you want to do one at a time, because when you fix one, it might fix what's going on someplace else too. So don't try to fix everything at once. Next thing is, you can see my side seams do not match up. Here is the side seam on my bodice. Here's the side seam on my skirt. I think I need to adjust both of them a little bit, because my side seam on my bodice is skewing towards the back. So I'm actually going to go back and fix this. And what I want to do is I will cut this apart, and this will be my new pattern piece for the front, and then for the back, because you can see here, here's the old side seam on the bodice. Here's where I want the new one. I want it to match up with the skirt, because actually the skirt was correct, but the bodice was not. So I'll cut these apart. I'll cut on this new line, retrace my bodice back and bodice front with this adjustment. So this is where I want my new side seam to be for the bodice. So I'm going to cut along that. Then I'm going to cut apart at the shoulder seam, and then there you go. Now you could trim off all of your seam allowances at this point too, since you don't have one on the side because of how you cut it. There you go. So then what we'll do is trace this new pattern piece, because you see we added that little bit there to correct that seam, so it lines up with the center, the side seam of the skirt, because this one was going back. So as you're doing this, it's a good lesson. Like you know, always keep working at it and perfecting it and changing it to make it better. That's what I do every time I make something, you know. So we'll trace this in paper, add our seam allowances, cut it out of fabric, all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to do the same thing with your bodice front, because you took off some of that there. So that needs to be adjusted as well. So there you go. And that's how you would fix that. And then since we made adjustments to this side seam, what I'll do is I will cut the pattern pieces, or cut the pieces apart along my stitching line. And then I will retrace these onto paper with the corrected seam, because of how we bumped that out and gave ourselves a little bit more room at the hip there. Okay, so I redid my bodice, made a couple other little tweaks to it to get it to fit how I wanted it to, so that my side seams match up. So that's going to make it easier when we go to do our torso sloper. There you go. That is how to do a simple skirt sloper. I have chapter 2, Son of Skirt Sloper, coming for the next video, because I wanted to show you how to develop some other patterns from your skirt sloper to just kind of give you a springboard to jump off of. So that will be the next video coming out, if it's not already out by the time you're watching this. So look for that and click the notification bell if you are not being notified of my new videos. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, because that's another way to make sure you get notified when my new videos come out. And leave a comment down below as to what you might want to see in upcoming videos. Or if you have a question about something that I covered, or something I didn't cover that you want me to cover, let me know. So take care, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.